In this question, we are given that last year, a certain company began manufacturing a product X and sold every unit of product that it produced. Also, the total expenses for manufacturing product X were equal to $100,000 plus 5% of the company's total revenue from all the units of the product sold. We have to find out if the number of units sold by the company last year was more than 21,000 units. Now, let's assume the revenue to be equal to R. Then, according to the statement of the question, we have the total expenses to be equal to 100,000 plus 5% of R. This is equal to 100,000 plus 5R by 100. Now, we are told that the company did make a profit on the product X last year. So, the profit will be equal to the revenue minus expenses. Now, since the revenue is equal to R and the expenses is 100,000 plus 5R by 100, we can substitute the value of expenses here and find an expression for the profit. Then we have R minus 5R by 100 minus 100,000. This is equal to 95R by 100 minus 100,000 equal to 19R by 20 minus 100,000. Now, the profit that the company makes on the product X for each unit is equal to the selling price minus cost price. And if N is the number of units sold last year for the product X, the total profit will be N times SP minus CP. Now that we have inferred everything that we can from the question, let's move on to step 2 and analyze the statement. So the statement 1 tells us that the company's total revenue from the sale of product last year was greater than $110,000. So, this means the total revenue will be N times SP and that is greater than $110,000. Now, it is not possible for us to find the value of the number of units sold or the selling price using this inequality. So, statement 1 is not sufficient. And out of the given options, we eliminate options A and D. We now check the sufficiency of statement 2. The statement 2 tells us that for each unit of the product X sold last year, the company's revenue was $5. So, the selling price of each product, that is the selling price of per unit of the product X, is equal to $5. This means that the revenue generated is equal to $5N, since N is the number of products sold. Now, the question tells us directly that the company did make a profit last year. So, the profit will obviously be greater than 0. Then, substituting the value of profit that we deduce in the step 1, we have 19R by 20 minus 100,000. This will be greater than 0. Now, when we substitute the value of R, which is revenue, as 5N, we get 19 times 5 times N by 20 to be greater than 100,000. This gives us N to be greater than 100,000 times 20 divided by 19 times 5. Now 5 cancels 20 4 times. So this implies that N is greater than $400,000 divided by 19. Now we can find the approximate value because 100 around 21 times, and then if we calculate further we get 21052 few decimal places. Now this is obviously greater than 21,000. Hence, from statement 2, we can answer the question with a definite yes that the company did sell more than 21,000 units of product X last year. So statement 2 is sufficient, and thus the correct answer is option B.